All right, if that being the case, what up, though? This is ANT, aka Ant-Man, and I'm welcoming you to the first so-called episode of the Intelligent N-Word. It's just a podcast of an intelligent N-Word speaking on shit that I only know about intelligently. So, me being the N-Word that I am, and I'm gonna stop saying N-Word right there because that's the only thing that's gonna be uncensored on here. Is that like is that is the title of the show. Other than that, this nigga gonna be talking shit. And we're gonna talk about sports, music, things like that nature. Some things may not be in the same order as the next episode. It's whatever's gonna be hot. You know, we gotta talk about what's hot. But as a Detroiter, I gotta talk about the hottest thing in the city right now. And I'm not wearing the right colors, but you know what it is. How about them damn Lions, man? 4-1 atop the NFC North, and we're one of the top 5 teams in the NFC to look at. You know, the media is trying not to give us any props right now because everybody's winning. The Niners just beat the hell out the Cowboys at the same score. 42, and they had 10. We had 42 and Carolina's 24. But we left them winless. If had we lost to the Panthers, it wouldn't have been a whole bunch of tragic talk, but it definitely would have been talking about how the Lions lost instead of how the Panthers won. I'll tell you that right now. Back to the old ways or whatever. But instead, we won. Not a lot of people talked about it, but I'm glad that Pat McAfee talked about the trick play that we did, that reverse flea flicker that was thrown to Sam Laporta for that 40-yard touchdown. Incredible. That I didn't know that Sam Laporta and George Kittle, they're both Iowa boys. So George Kittle had to go to his offensive coordinator like, Coach, we've been at this play lined up, man. Let us do that versus the Cowboys. And they did it from 50 yards. So, okay then. But nonetheless, I am happy that the Lions are continuing their winning streak. Looking forward to their next game at Raymond T. James Stadium against the Buccaneers. And I think we're going to knock them out the park too. You know what I'm saying? The Baker Mayfield, nah, we ain't too worried about him. So I'm happy to see they keep progressing. This is a different Lions team. The weapons that we got, the fact that we didn't have Jahmyr Gibbs and we didn't have Amon-Ra St. Brown, it did not affect us the least. We still had Sam Laporta. You still got Josh Reynolds. We lost Brian Branch, but we got Jerry Jacobs with he got a pick. Hutch. I'm gonna keep that's the defensive player of the year to me. Hutch. He's getting sacks every other week. He caught a nice little short-handed pick from Bryce Young. Man, we got weapons. We are showing that we are not playing around. You know what I'm saying? This is not the same old Lions team that will pick up penalty after penalty due to some offsetting bullshit. This is a Lions team that is tired of being defiled as the worst team in the NFL, man. This is a different type of look. Of course, if you're from Detroit, you might be one of the cynics, or you might have some friends or relatives that are cynics. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple of uncles that are cynics to this winning Lions strategy. They definitely saying, we ain't go, you know what I'm saying? I have a hoodie on. I might wear it the next episode that says, come on, Detroit. I have a Honolulu Blue hoodie that says, come on, Detroit, just one before I die. And the one we talking about next to the graphics is a Lombardi trophy, which we have not won at all. So I'm not saying that this is going to be the year that we do that. I'm not saying that. I will hope it to be, but the most I'm stretching for, I would be happy for a playoff win. That's what every Lions fan is going to be happy for. Give us a playoff win, we'll be talking shit all next year. But you get us in the NFC Championship, then we gonna be on motherfuckers' heads. Pause. But we gonna be talking crazy shit if you let us get the NFC Championship. I've been proclaiming that. Me personally, since Super Bowl 57, and when I saw the Lions schedule for this year, I predicted off the bat 13-4. And so far, We're not looking bad for a 13-4 season. Y'all might not think we can do it, but check out this. Check the schedule that we got. I'm starting to understand how schedules are being ran. You know what I'm saying? Outside of playing in your division, if you in, like, whatever division when you playing your team twice a year, you know. Aside from that, the cycle is we get two different divisions aside from playing our division, and then we play like the other two second place teams in other divisions. So we got we beaten down like so far we've beaten down two of the four NFC West team, not NFC South teams, them being the Panthers and the Falcons. We beat them boys up. We about to beat up the Ravens next week. Put my money on that, and I will put money on that. I'm about to, like, once I get paid, I'm going to Underdog Fantasy and put on us getting some yards. We may not win, but we might get some yards. But then we got the Saints after that, and like I said, we gonna run through Baker. Pause. But we also gonna run through Derek Carr as well because come on, man. But the Lions are doing wonderful, man. That's all I'm gonna say. We're doing wonderful. We're tearing up we're tearing up the NFC South. The AFC West, we ain't played a team from them aside from the Super Bowl champions that we had beat in the opener. So we got the Chargers, the Raiders, the Broncos to deal with. The biggest threat is probably Brandon Staley's unstable ass with the Chargers. That's the only team I can see that may beat us in the AFC West. But we got the NFC North on lock. We're gonna beat the rest of these teams from the NFC West and the AFC South. We got the Ravens. What is it? We got the Ravens. Come on. I'm looking right now. The Ravens. Unfortunately, we lost to the Seahawks. We should have won that game. And then we got the Cowboys. That's the game I'm waiting to see. Week 17 versus the Cowboys at Arlington Stadium. We gonna prove that the Cowboys ain't winning jack at their house. That's what we gonna do. Mark my words. Mark my words. Week 17 is gonna be the game that a lot of people gonna be talking about because everybody gonna be clamoring about the Cowboys. Like the Lions are the top 5 teams, or one of the top 5 teams in the NFC. You got the 49ers and the Eagles, which are still undefeated. You've got I haven't checked the Packers resume or the Packers the Packers record. I don't know if they're 3-1 or 4-1 or if they're 3-2. But you got the Niners, you got the Eagles, you got us, you got the Cowboys, and let me check. I want to look through and see like who else is like one of the better teams in the NFC. Period. I would guess the Seahawks. I guess because Geno Smith, you know, last year, Geno Smith put us through some trouble. So, like I said, we should have won the game versus the Seahawks. We should not have ran the clock and tried to do overtime. We should have just went for it and pushed for a touchdown and got them boys up out of there instead of trying to, all the balls that he had during the pause, all that all that fortitude that he had earlier in the game, going for it and pushing forward the clock. You ain't do that in the fourth quarter, MCDC. Come on, man. Should have done better than that. But that's the only the top 5 teams: Seahawks, Lions, Eagles, Bears. Seahawks, Lions, Eagles, Cowboys, and Niners. Top 5 teams. And the Niners, and the Cowboys and the Eagles, they're under us. It's Cowboys and the Seahawks. Cowboys and Seahawks they're under us. Eagles and Niners, they're going to be above us because they're undefeated so far. But we got this shit on lock. NFC, look out. That's all I'm saying. NFC, look out. We coming. We beat the Chiefs in the season opener. Yes, they didn't have Chris Jones. Yes, they didn't have Travis Kelce with Taylor Swift. But it don't matter. We beat Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line. So I'm proud of my Detroit Lions. Keep doing what y'all doing. Can't wait to see what we do against the Bucs next week because it's just going to be another W in our column. You know what I'm saying? We're 2-0 on the road. I'm going to keep saying it again. We beat the Chiefs at their house and we beat the Packers at Lambeau again. So it's nothing for us to beat a Tom Brady-less Buccaneers team. You know what I'm saying? That's that on that. Lions, go Lions. Now the next up, that's the only hot thing I'm gonna talk about with sports right now. Looking forward to the NBA season coming up. You know, that's the best I can really come up with for this moment. I'm not going to get into any speculation about my Pistons because, you know, ain't no telling what the heck is going to happen. We still just got an upstart team. We still building up and shit like that. Hopefully Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham can make some shit happen with Monty Williams, a NBA Finals coach like him. Hopefully he'll have the mindset and the stuff, you know, the plays. Hopefully he has the right playbook for us to be a successful team this year. If not, then, you know, gonna have to still keep on building. So I'm always gonna be a Pistons fan, but you know, the Pistons always like, you know, we're gonna be in rebuilding phase. So I ain't gonna trip on that. So go ahead with that. Next up, the intelligent N-word is going to talk about my favorite thing. Well, a lot of favorite things. All of these are my favorite things. But we're going to talk about the past weekend of wrestling. And it wasn't the most eventful pay-per-view or premium live event, but it was definitely one to watch. And that was Fastlane last Saturday in Indianapolis. And it was only 5 matches, but it still had great production. And one thing that surprised me about this show is, hold on a second. All right. The one thing that surprised me about this show is that all the good guys won. All of them. Yeah, it was only 5 matches, but all the good guys won. What about the Io Sky match, the triple threat match? Asuka, Charlotte, and Io Sky. If you want to pick a good guy out the 3, now Charlotte, she is the typical, like she's the, you know, she's the storyline baby face because she ain't being no super heel. She's only a heel when she wins. when she wins, then the people are gonna hate her. But you know, storyline mode, she's the baby face. But people have been digging Io Sky since she's been in the WWE, since she's been a part of the main roster. Hold on a second, because I was trying to get this right. All right. Since Io Sky's been on the main roster since SummerSlam 2022, people been liking what she's doing because she is one of the best high flyers in female wrestling and women's wrestling, especially in the WWE. Last best high flying women I've known to do what she do. I ain't even gonna date back to it because I might be wrong, but it's not a lot of them out there. So shout out to Io Sky. She's the undisputed women's champion. That's one thing I want to talk about too. Is how come, you know, Rhea Ripley's the women's world champion, but Io Sky is not the undisputed women's champion. You know, that whatever. That's another story for another day. But Io Sky has been loved by the WWE universe, so that technically makes her a heel that makes her a babyface in a heel stable. So if you want to call her a tweener, you can call her that. You know, Bayley's the heel in this shit. People like Dakota Sky, but she's associated, you know, she's guilty by association fucking with Bayley, so she's still a heel. But people like Io Sky, so her winning didn't hurt the crowd, didn't make no crowd mad at all. You know what I'm saying? If Asuka won, then people would like that too, because she didn't have as long as a reign as people would hope when she won at Night of Champions against Bianca Belair, who we haven't seen since SummerSlam. And that's a question to think about too. Is Bianca Belair going to return as a heel? We don't know. Especially with Jade Cargill coming in the main roster, as we can see, or is she? They say she's being sent to Raw, but we don't know. Now I don't speculate off of what's being, you know, even if the official tabloids say it, I'm not checking it. I'll see it to believe it. I'll talk about it next week when it gets for real. But we haven't seen Bianca Belair since she lost the undisputed women's championship that she immediately lost. Like when she won it at SummerSlam. Io Sky cashed in on her. But Asuka though, well Asuka, she only had the belt since May of 2023. She lost that at SummerSlam in August. So 3 months, people like, come on, man. Or in the words of my man Cam and Mace, come on, my nigga. So if Asuka won, the people would have dug that. But right now, Io Sky is the hotter one. So her winning didn't hurt the fans' morale. Like, okay, she won, it's cool. As long as Charlotte didn't win. So that's what I mean by all the good guys won. EO Sky won. LWO with the return of Carlito won. Uh, what was the other two matches? The what the damn it, the two tag team matches. Jimmy, John Cena and LA Knight, they won their match against Uso and Solo. And you know Roman's going to be pissed off about that on Friday. As well as Jey Uso winning the tag team championships with Cody Rhodes, who's still trying to, quote unquote, finish the story. I'm still forgetting one more match that happened that night. Whatever, all the good guys won. All the good guys, all the baby faces won their matches, which is the one thing that surprised me. As well as Cody and Jay winning the tag team championships. Because, I mean, I definitely saw it as a stickler for them to keep being closer since Jey Uso really ain't got no allies. But now this just confirms the fact that Cody is not just an ally, he's a friend. You gotta be your friend now that y'all tag team champions. You saw how friendly they was in that press conference. Anybody saw that press conference? That's one of the funniest shits I ever seen, man. Jey Uso is definitely a nigga. He is definitely a nigga. Not an N-word. He is a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Paul Mooney says it best. Samoans. Oh, Samoan niggas. You know what I'm saying? Some are less niggas than others, but man, Samoans ain't nothing but niggas who can, like, no. Puerto Ricans are nothing but niggas who can swim. That's what Paul Mooney said about that. But Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, that's definitely gonna make Roman Reigns very upset. And he's gonna be more upset at Jimmy for like, yeah, you could have did something. You could have came in and interfered. If his bloodline and the Judgment Day aligning together, that's what we're seeing. Then if the bloodline's supposed to be helping out the Judgment, if the bloodline's supposed to be helping out the Judgment Day, you should have got your ass down there and kept your brother, who's not with us, from winning those tag team championships. Now you're giving you're putting a battery in Cody Rhodes' back, pause, to believe that he can go against me more. So, I can't wait till Friday night. I can't wait till the next 2 hours, see what happens on Raw tonight. And that's been one of the best things about Raw recently, man, is that, this year, that's been one of the best things about PLEs. You watch the PLE for the PLE, but you also watch it to see what may happen on Monday night or on Friday night. You watch them joints, and at the end of that PLE, you be like, dang, what's gonna happen on Raw? What's gonna happen on SmackDown? So I'm looking forward to seeing how the Judgment Day is gonna react to losing those tag team championships to JD McDonough, a man who's been trying to audition for the Judgment Day. And Damian Priest been told him, you ain't getting in. Regardless if Finn Balor sees you as his student and best friend, all that shit, you ain't getting in our group because you doing too much. You doing unapproved, you doing unauthorized things, whether I told you not to do it or real or whatever. I don't know if Finn Balor is giving you that motivation to try to be extra, but you fucking up. He hit Damian Priest in the leg with the briefcase, with his senior Money in the Bank briefcase, which ultimately led them to lose the titles. Oh shit. Better keep this lit or it's a wrap. But I'm looking forward to seeing, because Judgment Day always open up Raw. If you've been watching, they always 9 times out of 10 open Monday Night Raw. So they're going to open up the show or interrupt Cody and Jay celebrating their win from Saturday night. And I'm still trying to remember the 5th match. I'm still trying to remember the 5th match because I said all the good guys won. There's 5 matches, all the good guys won. Cena and LA Knight beat Jimmy and Solo. Cody and Jay are the new tag team champions. EO Sky returned her women's undisputed championship. LWO with Carlito beat the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. And it's one more match that I am forgetting to think about. Nonetheless, whatever. Fastlane was a great one, and I'm looking forward to Crown Jewel because we know that Roman Reigns is coming back and he's going to be involved in this Saudi Arabia PLE. My question is, who's he going to go against? I think the best answer would probably be LA Knight. Yeah. And the reason being is because he was the one that pinned Jimmy Uso. And that's when Paul Heyman went to his phone behind Solo and said, call in Roman Reigns. We've got a problem. So, and we know it's Jimmy. Jimmy's been acting very assertive. He's been acting very assertive with his position in the bloodline. And since Roman's been gone, he's been acting like, he's been definitely overt, definitely acting overt. And Roman and Solo, not Roman, but Paul and Solo been letting it slide. But when the tribal chief comes back, he's going to be a pissed off, longest reigning WWE champion or in the modern era. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to that. But I know that he's going to get mad at LA Knight too, because they've been building that up since he's been gone. The LA Knight promo with Paul Heyman in the backstage, the win that he just got this Saturday. Yeah, of course he's not going to win, but I do think he's going to get a title shot at Saudi Arabia, and it's going to help him build his career up even more. I don't think he's going to definitely not going to win the Royal Rumble yet. If anybody I think is going to win the Royal Rumble, I believe it's going to be Gunther. But LA Knight is definitely on the roll. It took me a minute to get acclimated and to like him as much as I did. I was just getting tired of, all the Stone Cold and Rock comparisons. But this man is his own person. He's definitely unique. He does have a style that is old school reminiscent, but he's his own person. Been fighting to get to this type of spot for a long time. I believe he's 41, 42. And to finally get to a main event level, to be on the top of the card, to be with certain wrestlers, that's like, like John Cena, Jimmy Uso, because Jimmy Uso, regardless of the babyface or heel, one of the greatest tag team men to come across the ring, and he's definitely a great in-ring specialist. So it's a great move. I definitely think that it's going to be LA Knight versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at Crown Jewel. Oh yeah, Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura. That was the match I forgot about. Last man standing. And it's not because it wasn't a bad match. I just couldn't get it in my head for some reason. And that's the first time I think that Seth Rollins main evented a pay-per-view as World Heavyweight Champion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the first main event he's had on a PLE as World Heavyweight Champion. And that was a good match. It wasn't as great as the Last Man Standing match, SummerSlam 2002, but it was definitely a great elemental match. I like the moves that they did. I like, that they implemented some certain things. Shinsuke Nakamura using Red Mist, he went to jury on niggas. And also what I'm looking forward to this Monday is the official return of DIY. Gargano and Ciampa, they back together as a team. We know that that's going to properly build them up. I want them to win the Undisputed Tag Team Championships real soon. I want them to win them because they are definitely one of the best tag teams to come along. And they're finally about to show why they was the best tag team in NXT. So that being said, we're going to get off that subject because that's all I can really talk about as far as the WWE right now. I'm not going to get into no more speculations about stuff that may be happening in the next couple of pay-per-views or PLEs. I ain't going to get into all of that. We'll get into that later on in another podcast episode. Next, what I'll talk about is the current Drizzy and Mouse situation. I've been going up and down Twitter reading the stuff. I saw the post that Drake wrote to Joe Budden, and I didn't even hear the rant that Joey was talking about, but I understand, Drake telling Joey that, boy, your career as a rapper, it failed. You talk about me, I should do this type of music or that type of music. You're only saying that because your lane as a rapper has failed. Drake is making music for the 14-year-olds to 28-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? And that has been his path since 2010. He stopped with the underground rapping shit after comeback season. You know what I'm saying? Once that I forgot what it was called. But like before the joint that came out, before Thank Me Later, when that came out, that's when you knew it was, the best I ever had. You know, the rest of his career he's gonna be talking about nothing but women and shooting shots at the niggas that feel like they number one. You know that. If that's what makes the money, then let's keep on making that money. You feel me? You know, we all know Joey's number one's biggest hit. And other than that, he ain't got really further. But we know that Joey is a hell of a lyrical assassin. I just saw his freestyle that he did on the BET Cypher when he was with Slaughterhouse. And I had to, like, I looked at it the whole way. Like, it made me remember that, yeah, Joey ain't no fucking hoe with these bars, man. If you are a lyricist, you know that. Drizzy, he can rap, but Joey can rap too. And if it came down to it, lyrically, I think Joey would beat Drake. But it ain't about that. It's about sales. It's about appeal. It's about longevity. And right now, Drake has been here from 2009 up to now. 14 years of consistency. 14 years of number one hits. 14 years of chart-topping records. 14 years of running up the shows, getting probably getting $1 million a show. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whether his albums are classics or not to some people, they're still getting sales. Her Loss, Certified Lover Boy, Honestly Nevermind, and his recent one, For All My Dogs. And right now, For All My Dogs, is probably going to be the number one streaming joint, regardless of what people say. My homeboy George, my best friend George, shout out to King Courts, he said that he think that album is an AI-generated album. And he's a Drake fan. He said, like, I like Drake, and I think that album is AI-generated. But if it's getting into the money, get your money. I mean, I'm not the biggest Drizzy fan, but hey, I'm not gonna hate on the dude. He's not my number one rapper. I don't even know if he's in my top 50. I gotta check that. Let me check. No, he's not. He's not. He might be in the top 60 or something. I don't know. He might be in the 60, like 50 to 50, 50 to 60, 61 to 60 area, but I don't know. But the bottom line is Drake is making his appeal. Joey has to make his appeal through Love and Hip Hop, through the podcast. Free Surf, by the way, because he was part of that podcast. But that's what it is, man. Drake, he knows his appeal is getting to these girls that want to fuck him. He knows that. Sending money to random fans, that's fine as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Shit, like, he knows what he's doing. And the funny thing is, Drake and Joey kind of the same nigga. It's different to the sales. I believe that they both some toxic, romantic ass niggas. If it has, like, you know, if anybody had to get beat up over a bitch, it'd be both of them boys. But that's not the case. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about sales and appeal. And Drake had that appeal. Joey decided not to have that appeal. After Pump It Up, after his first album, it was nothing but mood music mixed throughout the rest of his career. So who won? You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real about that. Now, you really just can't get no more blank or blunt than that when it comes to, you know, who has the most appeal. Drake has the most appeal. Joey, he's a better lyricist, but he couldn't get any further than where Def Jam could try to get him at. And then, you know, Shady Records try to help it, then you beef him with Shady. So out you go from Slaughterhouse. So all he can do now is podcast. If he choose to come back, then whatever you think, whatever. But right now, Drake is that nigga. Bottom line. And that's just off the consensus. If it's a popularity contest, Drake gets first place. You know what I'm saying? Let's just leave it at that. It is what it is when it comes to that subject. So, you know, this is like Joey's going to have his opinion. Drake is going to be always extra emotional, especially if he feels like he's the top nigga. So that's that on that. To quote Drake's dad, that's that on that. I'm thinking. Shout out to my boy Cal, man, too. Shout out to Calico because he feels that nigga ain't Drake's daddy for real. Oh, man. I might get him on this joint one time, man. I might get Cal on this joint one time. And I can do it. But speaking to Cal, or just battle rap in general, let's talk about this shit that's been going on recently for the last couple weeks about battle rap and contracts. Right now, K-Shine, he has been the topic of discussion because he has been going on rants. Recently, he's been on My Expert Opinion, which is hosted by battle rap legend Math Hoffa. Shout out to Hoffa. And he's on here airing out URL about their contracts and getting on Jay Black about, undermining him, should be champion of the year and stuff like that. And I'm not listening to it. I'm not listening to it. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is this. You gotta read your contract. You gotta read your contract. K-Shine is a damn legend, man. He's been here in battle rap since like 2009, 2008, Lions Den days. You know what I'm saying? Before URL was conceptualized, he'd been on the scene doing his fucking job. So it kind of befuddles me that he would be the one to be complaining about contracts. You know what I'm saying? Now, the shit starts off with loyalty, especially if you've been knowing a certain league owner and shit like that for years. You go off loyalty, brotherhood, y'all from the same state, or you go off certain people's word and feel like what they say is, what they say is the end all be all. What they say is the truth. What they say is word is law. If they feel like you worth $30,000, then you worth $30,000. You may not feel that way, but if somebody hands you that money and you're taking a battle to, you rapping to somebody for 9 minutes, and you take that 30,000 and continue to take that 30,000, you're gonna continue to feel like that's your worth. You know what I'm saying? I don't know all about these contract negotiations, but I've been around situations. I've been in rooms where I've heard Cal talk to Beasley and how he negotiates. You know what I'm saying? Like, the last battle event I went to with Cal was at Summer Madness 12 when he battled Easy the Block Captain. And that's another nigga. See, another nigga that's, pissed off at URL because how he signed his contract and felt like he got played. And that's why he's on Chrome 23 and making up his own league and shit. These dudes got to read their contracts, man. They got to read their contracts. If they can't read it, they ain't got the patience to read it, get a lawyer or get somebody else to read over your shit so they can say, hey, this ain't right here. They're saying you got to do this or you got to take a certain amount of battles to get this amount of money. You got to do this to, this is part of the contract. You got to read that shit. You have to know what you're getting into, whether it's your hobby, your passion, whatever. You got to look at these papers, read the fine print. You feel me? Don't just take this money and feel like, all right, now that I got this money and I proved myself, you could have bodied somebody and you still get another 30. You know what I'm saying? That's like, makes me think about Cal when he said, versus easy. I catch body after body and y'all still doing me scurvy. All these kids out of fucked up, y'all still only giving me 30? You know what I'm saying? You gotta know your worth. Don't sign a contract. Negotiate. Goody Mob said this in an interview with the 85 South Show. Shout out to the 85 South Show. Carlos Miller, DC, Chico, and them. They said on that podcast, you are what you negotiate. If you don't negotiate, or you just go along with what these people give you and you just sign the X, then you basically saying, I'm going with whatever you feel. And you keep doing that shit, they're going to continue to feel like, all right, I said this again, this is what you worth. You feel like you 60? Well, for the last 3 battles, you've been getting 20,000. So what? We feel like you 60,000 for 3 battles, but for 1 battle, you know what I'm saying? You got to show your worth and not just show it through your abilities on the stage. Show it through your negotiations off the stage. You got to do that. That goes for any vet, any legend, any newcomer that decides to sign a contract for a league or any type of thing. That's for anything. You know what I'm saying? Look at the paper, man. If you can't do it, get somebody else to look over it for you. If you got to pay them to look over it for you, do that. If you got the money, you getting these bands to do that shit, pay somebody $500 to read this 20-page contract so they can really they can really look through and interrogate through these pages for you. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't do it, and if you don't do it, it's gonna be a certain chain reaction that you ain't gonna like, that you're now seeing with K Shine, that you're seeing with URL and Easy. You know what I'm saying? This is like very, very imperative for you to look over your shit before you sign the dotted line on something. You know what I'm saying? That goes for anything, but especially if you feel like this is your passion, this is your calling. If this is what you love to do, you got to look through these contracts and emotionally spilling yourself about it ain't gonna really do anything. But people gonna empathize with you, or they're gonna find a way to rebuttal that shit by checking the receipts. Jay Black, he's going through the receipts of the stuff that he said about K Shine. I saw it a little bit. Like, I don't like watching these joints, man, because I don't go off of gossip. I don't go off of gossip. I don't like that type of shit. So what? Jay Black acknowledged the fact that, like, dude, last year or the year before, a certain year, you got like, you had one podcast or two podcasts, then you as the best lyrical artist, but you want to get verified by Champion so you can have that belt on your shoulder and that extra $10,000 or $20,000 in your bag. Just say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes just gotta be real and upfront with themselves. You know what I'm saying? They gotta be real and upfront. You just can't take the blame on somebody else and say that they playing you. You might have played yourself and you don't know it. You might have played yourself and you might not know it until later on down the line. So, like, you just gotta be smart, man. You gotta be smart. Just gotta be smart, man. And K Shine, I don't know how. Like, I think that him and DNA are probably the same age. Shit, Calico is the same age as probably them niggas. I ain't gonna reveal niggas' ages and shit. If you know, you know. But the bottom line is, these guys are about my age range, and these guys should be smart enough to look through their shit. They got to be smart. Got to, man. Especially right now. In this era of greed, you gotta look over your shit. I don't know if there's any much more I could say regarding that subject. I gotta repeat it. Read your contract. Read your contract. Bottom line, dog. That goes for anybody. I'm not just shooting shots. That just goes for anybody. Even me, if I decide to do anything big. Like, say this intelligent N-word shit goes big and I get signed a contract for a sponsorship. I'm gonna look through that shit. Or I'm gonna find somebody that I know that can look through that shit. You know what I'm saying? My mom's got a friend that's an entertainment lawyer. I could probably hit him up right now and say, hey man, I got something that I wanna, that I'm looking into that I think would be a good idea, but I want you to help me read through this. Because if I can't intelligently interpret what's going on in these pages, this lawyer who knows the legalities and negotiations of certain shit can help me with these certain things. You know? So you gotta do that, man. You gotta do that. I think that's all the subjects that I'm talking about today. This ain't no long or short episode. I don't know, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, however you feel, but maybe the average time, I don't know. But that's all I got as far as subjects. I'm gonna close it out with some, with a little bit of I guess advice or just, insight, because it's not just gonna be, media coverage. Then we're gonna talk about anything intelligently. Anything. This is an intelligent N-word show. So we can talk about sports, we're gonna talk about battle rap, we're gonna talk about music, we're gonna talk about other things, but we can also talk about, mental health, life overall in general, the ways of the world. We might mess around and talk about politics, shit like that. But right now, I'm gonna talk about the reason why I even decided to take this bootleg route. I ain't send this shit out to nobody as of yet. After I'm done with this, I'm gonna spread the link out to everybody that that likes this. If you like it, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And then once I get more equipment, I gotta other things like that. Once I get that, then we're gonna have more structure. But the reason I decided to even start it off like this in such a a so-called bootleg fashion is because it's time for me to just start moving. It's time to start moving. If you don't know what I am or who I am, I call myself the Renaissance Rebel because I feel like I'm a man of many hats. I write lyrics. I'm like, I like to say I'm a rapper or whatever because it's been a while. But I'm a lyricist. I'm a producer. I'm an engineer at times. I'm a DJ. Locally, still, I am a DJ. Um, I'm a media maker. Go to my first Instagram page, The Creator, and you'll see the type of stuff that I do. It's lightweight, but it gave me. I had like almost 30,000 followers at a certain point in time. But it's like all these talents I got, and I use them separately. But it's time that I just start going about just doing it. You know what I mean? Just like the Nike, like the Nike slogan, just do it. If I got this idea in my mind that I want to, bring about some subjects that I feel is comfortable and fun for me to talk about, then I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? Can't nobody see your vision clearer and through better than you. And if you feel like you got something you want to put out, if you feel like you got something you want to let the world know about, if you think that it'll be beneficial or it could help, or help bring more entertainment or enjoyment or fulfillment to anybody's life, do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know many other people that's doing this stuff like this. It's a lot of people that's talking about whatever that has like one cast viewed on one subject. I call this the Intelligent N-Word Show because it may be anything we talk about, but like I said, it's gonna be done with some intelligence. You know, I'm not the smartest person in the world. Yeah, I graduated from DPS, but there's certain things that I view there's certain things that I view that I view differently than other people. It's like, I don't like to mention third eye type shit, but I have I believe everybody has a different insight that other people don't have. So I want to bring that insight to y'all, and I want to help out with that. I want to bring along certain people. I want to bring along certain guests or other people that that has intelligent inputs on anything. But I did this to just let people know and let myself know that just go ahead, get up and do it. Don't matter how I start. You got your ugly phase. You know what I'm saying? This is my ugly phase right now. Carlos and Chico talked about this like years ago. When you grow your hair, when you decide you want to grow locks, this shit ain't just gonna start off lusciously. Nigga, if I decide to grow locks right now, I would have to wait for months for this hair to grow out, and then I'm gonna have to get the blacks in my head. The small, I'm gonna have to get the little shit pellets on my head. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna look ugly, but if I decide to take care and condition and oil and grease and scalp my hair, all that good shit, then it's as soon as it can, them locks will flourish, grow out, and then it'll go from just attached to my head to down to my ears, down in the ears onto the back of your neck, and then maybe some years or two to go hang down. So this is my ugly phase, and I'm going to continue this ugly phase until I see progression with this ugly phase, and then we can get onto a different era of the intelligent N-word, or a different aura, I'll say, because it's going to be the same era. The era of the intelligent N-word is now. We are bringing intelligent talk back to podcasting. Not saying it hasn't been, but when it comes to black people, nah, I ain't gonna say it like that, man, because there are a lot of intelligent podcasts out there for black folks. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. You know what I'm saying? There's other ones that I could think about right now, but I want to help contribute bringing intelligence to the media. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'll have any others, shout out to intellectual media, because it's a whole bunch of other smarter, intelligent podcasts out here. But I want to bring like the average entertainment, but I want to enhance it with just a little bit of intelligence. So that's where this Intelligent N-Word podcast come from. I want to have some fun. I want to talk about the shit that I see that's making my day. And if it makes your day, come on and join along, man. So I thank y'all if you watched this long. I appreciate y'all. We're going to come back next week. Who knows? We might come back this week. But this is not going to stop. This is not no pilot. You know what I'm saying? This is the first so-called episode. And I will be back by next week with another one. And I hope you enjoy y'all guys' day. Enjoy your Monday. If it was a rough one, let's continue on with the week, man. If you get paid this Friday, keep your hopes up and just keep on thriving until that payday comes. You can get your check. You feel me? But until then, I'm out this bitch like newborn puppies. Enjoy yourselves, and I will see you next week.